Hello and welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep and a hot dog. Even though you've got water over there, haven't you? You got water you can drink. My website is jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. ABF. So today I am going to... excuse me. I decided to do two recordings. Two Let Me Bore You to Sleep recordings today and tomorrow. One is going to be about my first stepmum, and tomorrow's is going to be about my second stepmum. Just what I decided to do. The reason for the second one tomorrow is because it's her birthday tomorrow, so I thought she's not going to see it, but I thought I'd just be nice to talk about her. Not in a bad way, just like tell you about her, really. So, but today is stepmother numero 1. So, where do I start? Oh, I should just point out it's been very, very warm today. It's been very warm. Warm. Like, proper warm. Not just hot. Not particularly comfortable. Because, I don't know if you can notice that, if you can see, I've caught the sun. And even on my arms a little bit, because I've got a red face anyway. I'm basically a walking tomato, and I catch the sun. I get sunburnt even in the winter. So I just thought, mention the weather. How interesting. So I'm going to also look at trying to get the volume of these recordings up a little bit, because I did a recording yesterday which was a try and stay awake challenge, and on YouTube the video someone said the volume was too low, and so what I did is I took it off, deleted it, and I redid the video and made the volume higher. So I'm wondering if the same is the case on the podcasts. I'm not sure. No one's really said anything about the podcasts being too low, but there's no point me making them if you can't hear what I'm saying, because let's face it, you've been missing a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of really exciting material. So last time I did a Let Me Bore You to Sleep was Friday. It's now Monday, and it's been a couple of particularly warm days. But although I didn't do, I did make a recording yesterday, it just wasn't one of these ones. Yeah, that's it. I ain't got nothing else to say, really. Yeah. I've done about 3 poos today, so that's good. Good to keep track. It's all about creating memories, really, isn't it? That's what life's about. So, first of all, let's do what am I gratitudinal for? All right. Oh, he's licking himself again. Nice. When I first did this setup, part of the reason I did it like this is so that Vinny, because he did get up and he was all active like he was right at the beginning of this recording. And then he gets on the floor, he gets bored, and that's it. I thought he'd be, maybe, even yesterday on the try and stay away try and stay awake challenge. I actually put a cushion on here. He didn't sit on it, and for the first 15 minutes he had me laughing, because he went over to the other side and all I could hear was because licking himself, and it was, honestly, it was so loud and I could see what he was doing, and in the end I just started laughing, and you don't get to see that because I edited it out, because it probably wouldn't have fitted in with the falling asleep, but possibly. But it just made me, I just couldn't stop laughing, because he was looking at me like, what's your problem? It's mine and I'll lick it if I want to. So yeah, my first stepmom. So I'll give you a little history lesson of my life. Just quickly, I was born in 1970, 26th of August, my birthday. Coming up soon. I'll be 54 in, I don't even know how many days. 10 days? 12 days? 3 times a lady. I don't know how many days. I don't know what day it is today. Oh yeah, I do know it's the 12th today, because the 13th tomorrow. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So it's 14 days. It's more than 3 days until my birthday. So I will, look forward to all the presents. So 54. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. I can't explain to you how ridiculous it is that I will be 54 in more than 2 days. In less than 3 months' time, I will be 54. It's like, how? I don't understand. How can I be 54? I don't know. Just seems weird. It do seem weird to me. I mean, I remember when I was like, I don't know. I remember yesterday. I was going to say I remember when I was 40, but I don't. When was the last birthday that I actually remember? Well, I was 50 during the old lockdown period. So that was my 50th birthday, 2020. The last time I saw any member of the family, apart from my dad and my stepmom, was 2019 in the August. That was when my stepmom's birthday was before. So I'm thinking that's 5 years later. I think she might be retirement age. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to give her age away. But she's still young. She's a lot younger than my dad. She's about 100 years younger than my dad. Yes, it's been 5 years. You got to say years in this country. If you're on television, you're not allowed to say years, which is how it's years. Your ears, that's how it should be. But if you're on television or on the radio and you're a presenter, you have to say yours, especially if you're a politician. Yeah, so 4 years ago, pretending to be posh. Anyway, what was I talking about? Right, I was born in 1970 in London, and I lived there for about my original birth mother, vaginal mother, whatever you want to call it, but the person that gave birth to me, she took off when I was about 6 months, 3 to 6 months old, apparently. I don't remember because I forgot to put it in my journal. Forgot to write it down. I was a bit busy being a baby. And during that period for about the next 1.5 to 2 years, I lived with foster parents. And then the foster parents, this is what I've been told. Again, I don't remember this. I don't have any photographs. That'd be lovely. That'd be nice. A few photographs of them, but no. So, for all intents and purposes, she was my mum. The lady, she was my mum for, 1.5, 2 years. I didn't know anything else. So then my biological female came back and she took me and my two brothers, and took us away. So when I was about 2.5, maybe 2, I don't remember. So in that period between 2 and just before I was 7, we lived with her in Newcastle, and then I ended up in, I don't know what age, but I ended up in a children's home in Newcastle, Nazareth House, and then I ended up in another Nazareth House children's home in Southend. And then just before I was 7, I moved. My dad and his new wife took us. They didn't take us, they took us on, me and my 2 brothers. And so that's getting you up to date to the point where I start this story. It's not really a story. It is a story, but it's not a story. And if you're wondering, you look like you're sweating, yes, because I've got about 10 lights shining on me, and it's 55 degrees outside. It's not 55 degrees, but it's warm. It's too warm to have all these lights shining at me. So if I close my eyes, all I can see is that ring light that's right in my face. I can still see it. It's burnt into my cornea. So, so it was 1977. We came back. The first time we got told, because it was me, my brother that was 2 years older, and my other brother that was 4 years older. Now 4 years is a long time. It's a lot, when you're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a 7-year-old, is a big difference in age. Now there's not a lot of difference because we're both old, although he is much older, 4 years actually, and under 7 years older than me, over 3 years old. And we were told that your dad's coming to see you, right? Now, I didn't know. The only father I'd known of was my stepfather, who used to be with my mother, and in Newcastle. So we all got under this bed, which is weird because I don't remember any really big beds being there, so I don't know how we fitted under it. It's like it was under a double bed, but they didn't. Why would they have a double bed in a children's home? What was that for? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think of a reason. I can't think of a reason. Maybe we just all fitted under this one single bed. Because we had dormitories. I didn't sleep in the same room as my oldest brother, I don't think. So different dormitories, because there's a few kids. There's boys and girls there. Sometimes they did do only sex. Like only girls or only boys. But on this occasion, in this place, there was just both. That's when there was only two, back in the days. So we got under the table, and we got under the bed, and we decided we were going to I want to say the I don't want to say the words. I don't want to say anything horrible, but we were gonna send him away because we thought it was the bloke from Newcastle. So it's really weird. It's strange. They might not even remember this, but we all kind of decided, and I was like, yeah. I was 6. I was like, don't know what on earth you're talking about, but yeah, I'll do it. So we all went in there, and we had knives in our pockets, and they were just like cutlery knives. They might have even been plastic, I don't know. So we go into this room, ready to see him, this bloke, ready to go into action, whatever that meant, I don't know at the time. And it wasn't him. It wasn't the person we thought. It was our real dad, who I'd never seen before. Well, I had, but I was a baby, so I didn't know who he was. I don't think my other brother remembered who he was either, but my oldest one did. He remembered him. And because he was like, he still lived with my grandparents during that period when I was in foster care. So he lived with them for like a year and a half, 2 years. So I was born when he was 4, 5, 6. So he was about 6 or 6.5 when he moved away. So he knew my dad. He remembered him. 'Cause it hadn't been that long, really, in his life as well. 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 years. It's quite a long time, I suppose. Anyway, we saw this big man with this big bushy beard, and my brother started laughing, my oldest brother, and he was like, okay, calm down, to us. Like, we were confused. That's all. Like, who is this bloke? Who is it? Because I used to be Italian at the time, going through a period. Who is it? I don't know who it is. Brother, who is this man? I don't. And my older brother just like, will you please shut up? I don't like it when you talk like this. Why don't you talk normally? And my middle brother was like, I don't understand what you're doing. Why you always putting on these fake accents? And it was weird, a weird moment. And then my dad spoke. He was like, oh, hello everybody. He sounded like Nelson Mandela. Hello my sons, how are you today? He didn't. This is really silly. It has to be silly because it was quite serious, so I can't help but make it silly because it's quite a serious story, really. And he said, "Oh," I said, who are you? So I am. I am. I can't do it. Said, I am your father. You're my son. And my oldest brother says, I can't remember what he said. It's like, yeah, this is Daddy. Say hello to Daddy, won't you? It's Daddy. You haven't seen him for a while, but he's your daddy. And my middle brother was like, yeah, I don't understand why you keep talking like that. That's a very strange way to talk. Why? Can't you just talk normally? And I was the only normal person there, so I felt like you're weirdos. Why just, you know, why don't we? There's enough strangeness going on as it is. So, you know. Anyway, it was a weird one because I didn't know who he was, but there was this big. He was smiling. He was a big, beautiful man with a massive beard, long hair. It was the 70s. Well. Yeah, well, it was the 70s, 1977. And I just didn't know what to do. And I'm like, okay. And then he said, I can't do it. Can't keep doing the voices. Then he said, I'd like you to meet your mother. I'd like you to meet your new mother. I said, new mother? New mother? I mean, that didn't sound too bad. I mean, first of all, I thought, oh, don't tell me she just had a makeover. I mean, it's the same person, but she's had her hair dyed differently, and she's wearing I don't know, different boots. He said, no. Because I said it out loud, I didn't realise. Oh, he was telepathic. No, he wasn't. He's like, here's your new mother. So she just jumped out. It was weird, right? She was standing behind him the whole time. She was there the whole time. Because my dad's so big. It's a big, strong, muscly man. She was standing behind him. Now, I thought, first of all, oh, maybe she was hiding in his rucksack. But she wasn't. And she just, he says, say hello to your new say hello to your new sons. And we just heard like, hi, everybody. So she said, hi, everybody. I'm your new mum. And we looked at her. It's weird because I'd never met anyone that was, I never met anyone that was as short as me. So she was really, really short. 3 foot tall, which was, it's nice. It's good to have a new friend. She wasn't. I don't know why I said that. So this beautiful woman steps out from behind him. And she almost hopped. I don't quite know what that was about. I don't know. I found out later that she was a bit nervous and one of the nuns pushed her. That also didn't happen. So she said, hi, like, hello. It was very awkward. Didn't really know what to think. I mean, I don't know because I can't remember, but I remember little bits, little tiny things of the event. And I don't know, I think we might have went out for the day in Southend. I forgot where it was now. I said Thailand. In Southend, we probably went out for a few hours, perhaps got some chips, maybe went on the beach, stuff like that. and then came back, and we got on well. My dad was amazing, she was lovely, and then it started. We started visiting at weekends for a couple of months, and then we moved. So by the June, I would say, we moved there. Moved in with him, his new wife, and his mother-in-law. So we moved into this white house. So we'd been visiting, we'd been staying there most weekends for a period of time. And then we moved in. And so it's not really about where we lived, is it? But so we talk about her. I want to talk about my first stepmom. So I'm not going to say her name. Let's just call her Steppy 1. Steppy number 1. And she was so lovely. Seriously, she was so lovely. I took to her really straight away. And I used to sit on her lap in the car. Those were the days when you used to be able to do that. I mean, I'm not even sure if we had any seatbelts on at the time. She might have had a seatbelt on. I don't know if I did. But, you know, those were the days when people didn't... It wasn't legal. It wasn't a legal thing. You didn't have to have a seatbelt on. Vinny, seriously, mate, calm yourself down. Good boy. Otherwise, you're going into the bedroom. Vinny started to pipe up, which is annoying. Don't you? Hey, yeah. Yeah. So he hasn't hardly drunk any water. He hasn't eaten any food today. It's been too hot. But why is he not drinking water? But he's been out 3 times because he wanted to go out 3 times. So he's been out. He's still got lots of energy. Still exactly the same. But he's just hasn't eaten anything. But I know that if I gave him anything that I was eating, or I gave him any treats, he'd have it. He'd eat it all up. So for some reason he's not wanting to eat his own food. Oh yeah. Hey? I love having him here to a degree, but it annoys the hell out of me when I'm trying to make a recording. It really winds me up. There's enough noise around here. But the thing is, the only thing he's reacting to is that noise. Get off the table. Vinny, get off the table. Get off the table. 1, 2. Thank you. What are you doing? What are you doing? See, he wants... I don't know what he wants. He wants to do something. What is it you want to do, Vinny? So, we got on really well. I got on really well with her, as did my other brothers, and she basically, I don't know at what point I started calling her mum, or mummy. I think I probably called her mummy, to be honest. But up to that point in my life, she was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's the first time I don't know if I felt loved. I don't know if I've ever felt loved, but probably the first time that I felt like I loved somebody. I love my dad as well, but like I had a much deeper connection with her. Maybe because I needed it, to be honest with you. Needed a mum. Needed a mummy. So to wait to the age of 7 was a long time to be able to have that connection. So she was very special, and Yeah, I used to. It was kind of weird, like during our time together, because I was with her from 1977, and then the last time I really saw her, like regularly saw her, was 1987. Yeah, 1987, around April time, because she moved away. She moved up to a different part of the country to be with her new boyfriend, husband, became a husband. So that was the last time I really had any regular kind of contact, and I haven't spoken to her for. Last time I saw her, I think, was when my little brother was in hospital with his appendix burst, and didn't realise she was a nurse. No, she wasn't. I saw her there. She visited when we were there, and we all left pretty quickly. So it was all awkward, previous husband and stuff. My dad, I mean. And so I was up there with my dad and his wife, and that was probably an awkward position to be in. And plus I was dressed as a clown. Awkward all round. Didn't have any trousers on either. But yeah, so that was probably when he was very young. So I would probably hazard a guess 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when he did that. Maybe longer. Might have even been in the 90s. Really don't remember exactly. Is he making enough noise? Really, Vinny? Are you making enough noise? So, but really 1987 was the last time I really had any sort of contact, because I was living with her in her mother's flat. I lived there for nearly a year. Yeah. No, it was a year. Was it a year? I think it was a year. Blimey. Yeah, it was a year. From 1986, about April time, until 1987. So I was sleeping in the living room on a little camper bed. That was awkward, especially at that age, because I was 15. But, until the August, I was 16, and then come the April, I lived in a flat above the chip shop. And that's the last time I really had any regular contact. So but a lot happened in those 10 years. So I absolutely adored her. I did, absolutely adored her. And she was so kind, she was funny, she was a positive person. She had a lot of good qualities, a lot of talents as well. She was a brilliant artist. She was a really great pianist. I nearly said penis. Pianoist. So she played the piano. She also was great at cooking and baking and stuff like that. I used to like helping her with that stuff, with the cooking. Not so much the cooking like proper food, but baking. Oh yes. And I'd help with the housework. And Vinny, get away from the plug. Get away from the plug, Vinny. What is wrong with you? Why can't you just behave yourself? There's water over there if you're hot. I tell you, if he keeps moaning, I'm going to actually spray him with cold water. I don't know how that's going to stop him moaning and probably make him moan even more, but Vinny, just go, just behave. I don't need you distracting me when I'm having a serious conversation. So yeah, we so moving from 1977, so everything was smooth. I went to a school locally. I don't remember much about that period really, because it didn't last long, that little period, because we were living in this big white house. Well, it's a white house, and I think it's the house that she grew up in, my stepmom, but it was condemned. It had some kind of, I think it was sinking or some kind of problems with the house, so we had to move out. Her mum moved into a flat, got her own council flat, and we moved into a council house on a new build estate. So there were still houses being built around us, and it was a 3-bedroomed house, 2 bedrooms and a box room. But I had the box room, so I was 7.5 probably when we moved in there. Maybe I was 7 anyway. I don't know what age, but I was 7. And it was the first time I'd ever had my own room. It was like, wow. It was brilliant, because my 2 brothers, they had bunk beds in the other room. I don't know how I got so lucky to have my own room, but it was brilliant. So, yeah. And I had my Bruce Lee poster on the wall. And at that sort of time, that's when we started to accumulate stuff, because we didn't have any belongings really, other than what we were given once we moved there, once we moved to where my dad was and his wife. So I think I had a book, maybe a colouring book or something, and a few little bits of clothing and stuff, but the only things we had was toys that they gave us. So I guess I would have had stuff for my birthday when I turned 7, and then for Christmas, and stuff like that. So that's when we started getting stuff, toys, and having belongings. So really, for the first nearly 7 years, I didn't really have much in the way of belongings, other than just basically living out of a little wardrobe with stuff, just clothes to wear. So it's quite good to sort of have stuff. And I'm trying to think of some of the toys. I mean, I think we shared the toys anyway. Things like Kaplunk. We had like toys that were, I don't know if they were just like communal toys, kind of family toys, like Kaplunk, Buckaroo, Monopoly, Drafts, Frustration. Does anyone remember Frustration? Had a little thing in the middle and you pushed it down and it used to make the dice run. It used to move things around. It might not be a very good description of it, but it was called Frustration. And I'd not even thought about Frustration probably for decades. Wow. What's the other one? Operation. Do you remember? Looked like me, the bloke that was on the table. What else? Snakes and Ladders. Snakes and Ladders. What's that one that's it's all about the, like, as a crime thing, and there's the iron, and then there's the rope, and then there's the whatever, I forget the name of it, but we had that as well. Now Monopoly was alright. I didn't mind Monopoly, but it went on for a bit. Went on a little bit too long for a child of my age. It was like, this is not quite as interesting as it probably is for someone a bit older. It's like, But yeah, so I wasn't really into that so much. I play it, but it's you know, I'd rather watch cartoons, which is what we used to do. We used to watch cartoons in the morning on a Saturday. That's one of my memories of my first stepmom. She used to, us all lifting her legs up so she could vacuum the floor, because for some reason she had to vacuum while we were watching telly on a Saturday morning. Which I never quite understood, because especially when we were visiting, she knew we were visiting. They knew they were coming to pick us up on a Friday night, and we were going to be there till the Sunday late afternoon, and they were taking us back. So why couldn't she have done the hoovering or done the vacuuming the Friday or before we got there? Why wait till Hong Kong Phooey's on TV? Just a question. Sorry, it's bugged me for a little while. I'll let it go one day. I'll let it go. So yeah, I remember going back. That was hard because as a little kid, a month is a long time. So I don't know how long we went backwards and forwards, but we used to leave when Rent-A-Ghost was on telly. It was this TV show, Rent-A-Ghost. And it used to be on, so I don't know what time it was on, maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we'd drive back to Southend. And yeah, that was emotional. But I was like a little monkey, like clinging to her.
Please don't let me go. I love you.
That was her, not me. That was me. And
Mama.
So I used to constantly,
Mama, can I have more cake? Mama.
She got fed up with me quite quick, actually. It's weird, I don't know why.
Mama.
I just follow her around.
Mama.
So yeah, she used to hide sometimes. I didn't realise she was hiding from me. I mean, we'd play hide and seek. And so she'd say, go in the garden, hide and seek. I'd hear the car start and she'd drive off. Anyway, so yeah, she was lovely. It was weird. She used to come and say goodnight to me, right the way up till 16. No, she was probably 10, probably 9 or 10. She'd like come and always like say goodnight to me and stuff, and then close the door. And I'd always like and I'd hear the lock go, and she'd lock it, and you'd hear the banging of the wood, just to make sure I couldn't open the door and get out. My dad would be doing the windows, bang, 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 like that, shouting, it's going to be a full moon soon, quickly, keep hammering, we can't let him get out again. But it's nice, those nice memories. Yeah. I mean, she introduced me to the library. I didn't know what a library was. How would I know? So she introduced me to the library, and I loved it. I couldn't believe it. It's just like books and rows of books, more books. I loved books, and I just was renting book after book after book. And maybe I've got to stop saying the word book, because we get it. Books, library. But I loved the books. Remember the first time I went in there, I was like, I cannot believe it. Oh, there are the books. What? I got to read so much. I remember the first time I got home and I had about, wow, I'm sure they should let us take about 6 books out. So I had these 6 books, bearing in mind I was only 2 inches tall. So these books were really like, my dad actually, I remember he looked at me and said, he said, hey wife, look, those books are walking on their own. And she said, oh, don't be silly, husband. It's Jason. It's only Jason holding the books. He said, oh, that's funny. Oh. And yeah, because I was so little. That was the point. I was so little. That was a bit pointless. But yeah, I used to love the books, especially the new books. There's something about that smell. Fresh ink. Well, it's not fresh, is it? I mean, it might have been months old, but it's like the smell of a new book. Oh, I used to, all kinds of books. I used to like to read. I used to read the children's section because I was a child. I went through phases. I used to quite go through. I used to read a lot of astronomy books, although I couldn't tell you the first thing about astronomy now. And I used to read books like the reference books upstairs. That's where I think that's where the astronomy books used to be. I think. But I'd also look at other things. I'd look at other books and comedy sections and stuff like that. But generally, I could, if there was a new book, I'd get it. Calm yourself down, Vinny. You hear noise all the time. The amount of noise, not even noise, just sounds. It's not noise, it's just sounds. And if he's asleep, or if he's, sometimes he actually wills like, and then go back to sleep. He'll growl in his sleep at a noise, but he can't be bothered to actually get up and bark. It's like, I do hear him do it, honestly. He's like, you know, in connection to a sound. You know what he doesn't make a sound to? The dustbin people. The refuse collectors. They make so much noise. All they do is shout and swear, like really loud. 7 in the morning, 7:30, whatever. He doesn't even bother. And they only come every 2 weeks. So it's not like they're here every day and he's used to it. The postman, she comes not every day, but she probably comes into the building every day. Every time, barks. He sounds like a duck when he barks. He's every time. But the refuge man, nothing. Weird. I don't get it. So yeah, they're very loud, but he doesn't seem to be bothered by that. Maybe he just loves shouting. There's no way of knowing, is there, really? So I'm trying to think of, there were certain things that she used to do, my first stepmum. Things that I remember she was kind, very loving, friendly. She had a lot of friends, a lot of people who used to enjoy talking to her. Yeah, he's been piping up again. I had to stop for a second. Things I don't want to put him into the bedroom. Although if I want to put him in the bedroom, it takes me no time at all to edit these videos. It's really easy. Or video, the audios as well. Really, really easy. Takes very little time. But when he's here barking and making sounds, and it just adds like sometimes an hour to the editing. For what? You know, just so he can be in here with me. And I want him to be in it. Oh, look at this. It's my arm, my wrist. Wow, that hurts. I wonder why. That's strange. I think I pulled a muscle. I've noticed as I got older that I tend to pull muscles a little bit more frequently than I used to. Like, I hurt my back. My upper back was, for weeks, it seems to have healed. I've had enough of that thing now. That's enough. It hit. I'm not quite sure what I did, because I was doing a lot of exercise. I was doing push-ups every day, probably 4 times a day. And I think I got up to about 40 or was it 50 press-ups a time. And I was doing weights and everything, and my back lost its mind. I was in so much pain with my upper back that I had to stop all weights, all exercise for the last probably 2 weeks, if not longer. And you know, I was doing that because I was trying to lose weight, although I think I might have put some weight on, but I've lost fat, I do believe, just because of diet changes, I think, if nothing else. And yeah, I think my back is nearly healed now, the upper back bit, so I might try and get back to doing some weights or something again, but just taking it really easy. It's weird. I mean, there was a time when just no exercise could really... I mean, I pulled muscles and stuff when I was younger and I'd hurt myself. I go to the gym if I hadn't been for a few months, and I'd feel sore the next day, and a couple of days later I'd be fine. He started going into one then, like howling almost, so I had to put him into the bedroom. It just makes my job harder. I mean, I say job, but you know what I mean. Makes the process a lot more difficult. The thing is, I want him to be here because it's so cute when he gets up and he shows himself, and it's nice to have him around. I like it, you know. Bloody barking does my nut. So, I mean, I'm supposed to be talking about my stepmom, aren't I? So, I mean, to describe, she was lovely. I don't know really. She was my mum. I didn't think of her. I remember someone once said, "Oh, your stepmom." They called her my stepmom. This was when I was, I don't know, maybe 12, 13, and I had a go at the person. I said, "What are you talking about? She's my mum. I'm calling my stepmum." I think the same person called my little brother my half brother. Don't ever call, if you're out there and you don't ever call someone's brother their half brother. It's their brother. Someone's got a sister by a different mum or a different dad, but you know, same one of your parents. It's your sister. It's not a half anything. It's like, no, it's my half brother. No, it's your brother. I mean, yeah, it is a half brother. It's still your brother or your sister. And so if some people say that, it's like, just maybe it's they just like to be factual, maybe pedantic, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't like that. I mean, my little brother's my little brother. He's not half anything. If anything, he's double me, and that makes no sense. But you know, he ain't half of nothing. He's a complete brother. So she was lovely. So she had a baby when my little brother was born. I'll talk about him as well on his birthday, shall I? So he was born on the day before I was born. No. He was born. He was born the day before my 8th birthday. Literally. So what happened is we was in this house. This was the... Shut up! Shut up! Fucking dick. Right. Now he's barking in the room. Winds me up, I tell you. So, yeah, we were in this council house, and we had this big step that led into the side of the house. So there was like the back door, the front door, we went in, back door was through the gate, but there was this big step, and I fell off the step. It was a really ridiculous setup. What a stupid thing to have a big step leading. It wasn't well organised. I mean, to have the door, it was honestly like that high, or something like that. Really, the doorway from the ground. It was very weird. So, and I remember, I think my nan fell down there. So they put a ramp in for my nan, because she ended up living in that house as well. Herself after we moved out. So yeah, it was a not good design, but I fell off that step and I bashed my knee, and it was probably scraped, and I was crying, probably screaming.
Meh, meh. I hurt my knee. Meh.
I hurt my knee. And my stepmom, she was like,
Oh no, he's hurt himself. Oh.
And she comes out. So she's heavily pregnant at this point. I want to say heavily, I don't mean she was heavy. She was, but I mean, I'm just saying she was pregnant, full scale, as full as you can be. She couldn't eat another thing. I mean, I'm saying she's full. And she picked me up off the floor, and that kind of made a water burst. Honestly, I hear me thinking it was raining. No, it didn't go on me, but she basically picked me up, and then she ran into the kitchen, and yeah, and I walked in and I thought, why are you cleaning the kitchen floor for? Where's the mop? You shouldn't be doing that at your stage of pregnancy, mama. And my dad came in and said, Your mother, I think her water broke. We got to take her to a hospital. The accent's getting worse. Jason, we have to go to a hospital. So she went to the hospital to have the baby. This is in the days when I think you still do go to hospital. It's kind of reversed back. There was a time when people had babies at home. I think my second brother was born at home. I was born in the hospital. Edmonton Green Hospital, I think it is. And so my little brother, he was born in the hospital in the next town. So my dad took her to hospital. They had a baby. My nan and granddad came down from London and looked after us for the next 3 or 4 days, or however long she was in hospital. Because at that time, people would have babies and they would stay in hospital for a couple of days, a few days sometimes. Not because there was anything wrong with the baby, it just, it's a nice thing to do. What's the hurry? Now you basically, if you have the baby in the ambulance, they just turn around and drop you off at the nearest bus stop. So yeah, you don't get to stay in hospital anymore with a baby unless there's something, you know, serious. So back then, everyone just stayed in hospital. Right, he's shutting up now. Hopefully. It's beginning to wind me up. He's just so loud. Just because you can hear someone downstairs, like, they're not even making any noise. It's just a small sound of like, nah, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh, man. So it's going to take me ages to edit this blimmin' thing. It's ridiculous. So yeah, so they were in hospital. I remember it was my 8th birthday. My nan and granddad were here looking after us. I don't know if it was both of them. It might have just been my nan. And she came. And I remember it was my 8th birthday. So I had my birthday presents and all that stuff. My little brother was born the day before. I got toys and stuff. I got a golf set, like a putting set, golf, solid steel, like proper. And they had, blimey, orange handles, grip handles, and there was like heavy balls. It wasn't no cheap stuff. It was like, you know, and these plastic container things which were for, you know, that you could putt into the ball into and stuff. So that was good. I don't remember what else I got, but you know, my little brother was born. So my little brother was born. My nan was there, and let's be fair, the best present of my birthday was the golf clubs. I mean, that was definitely the best thing about that day. A lot of fun. So, you know, he came home and he was a baby, and it's like everyone was like, oh, no, baby. It's like, excuse me, I'm the baby. No, you're not a baby. You're a big boy now, Jason. This is the baby. He's the new baby now. You're just a big boy now. No, I'm still the baby. I was a baby yesterday, which means I'm still the baby. How can I not be the baby just because, like, 36 hours have gone past? I didn't say that because I hadn't added it up. No, you're not the baby anymore. And my dad was like, she'd sat me down. Now, Jason, I got to tell you, man, you are no longer a baby. You are a very big boy. Your little brother is now the baby of the family. Now you must be good to him. This terrible accent. You must be good to him. That's better. He's your brother. He needs you. This is turning into Churchill. He needs you. Your country needs you. So anyway, he was a little brother. He took over the role of being the baby. I was a baby till then. I was a baby for 1 year. 1 year I was a baby. I was a little kid. I was babied for 1 year. And then that was it. At least I got 1 year to be a baby. It was nice. Right. Here we go again. I just told him if he barks again, I'm chucking him out the window. Now he's all over me. Unfortunately, you wouldn't fit, would you? Try to get you out there, but you wouldn't fit through. You wouldn't fit through. No, you wouldn't. No. 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 Oh, man. This is the most he's barked in ages, like really just non-stop. That was one of the good things about Andre. He didn't make any noise. He used to like walk. I don't know. He'd make noise, but he didn't bark because he wasn't a dog, I guess. That's a good reason not to bark, isn't it? Hey? This has been a really rubbish recording. Basically, I'm trying to talk about my first stepmum. Yeah, she was lovely. She used to bake. I baked with her. She was just kind, smiley, lovely. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I think if she hadn't been in my life would have been a lot different. I think I would have been a lot different as a person had she not been there, had she not been in my life for, the period of time that she was. I guess maybe I didn't realise at the time. I think really from the age of when she left, for the last few decades, I think it's been more like, I'll focus more on the damage that did her going, but in a way I've not focused on the 10 years when actually it may well have, I believe it probably did have a very positive impact on me as a person. I mean, I was influenced by her. I was affected emotionally by her, by the way she was. She was very nice, very loving, kind, caring. And I think that had an effect on me for that period of time. And 10 years is a long time when you're a kid. It's not a long time now, but although, I knew my friend downstairs for less than 10 years, and it was still, still is, losing him. Even though it was like November last year, so it takes a while, I guess, I don't really think about her that often, but she, I do still see my little brother, who's his mum, and yeah, it was weird, but this all I want to do is be positive about her, and so yeah, she was lovely, she was great, she really was. She kind. I used to talk to her for hours, and maybe she taught me, or I learned from her how to converse, maybe how to, I've always been, I don't know, I've always generally got on better with women, not relationship wise, but like as just to talk to. I just seem to find females easier to communicate with. Maybe I've got a chromosome. Maybe I've got one of those YX, XY, YY, or whatever chromosome things. So maybe I'm female. I don't realise it. Or more female than male. I don't know. Maybe I'm just intelligent. I don't know. But that part of my brain, it's really weird because I'm struggling to think of the word. That part of the act, the verbal part, the talky, chatty part of my brain is very active. Not to the point where I could talk all day long. Now, I know some people that can talk literally. They won't stop talking all the time. So I'm not like that. But I would say I'm a lot more chatty than most men that I've ever met. Which is part of the reason why it's a good idea that I do these recordings rather than talk to people, because I don't always feel... It feels a little bit... So if I can do this and it bores people and you fall asleep from boredom, then that's a worthwhile thing. It's useful. It's, it's a good thing. However, if I had a conversation with someone, so he started barking yet again, so I'm going to go because he's just annoying me. He's going to keep barking. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself because you deserve to be happy. Lots of love. Lots of love.
Bye. Bye bye.